Hey, this is the Entertainment Advice channel. What I want to talk about today is how we can make movies great again. So, when it comes to this particular topic, I will discuss the exact strategy we can use to make movies
Yeah.
great again instead of being fed the constant crap we are being fed in the world today. So, anyway, now that you know, let's get started. So, when it comes to the topic of how we can make movies great again, the first thing I want to mention when it comes to this particular point is simply down to the fact that we need to have what you refer to as a niche audience. Because when you have a niche audience, it's perfect because you can make things exactly the way you want to make it, okay? Because you can find a bunch of like-minded individuals who think similar to you and so on and so forth. So as a result, you can make entertainment come out the way you like. So if you like movies, for example, that might be very very well thought out, have really good plots, and so on and so forth, you want a niche audience, okay? If you want movies that might have this particular aesthetic, for that matter, maybe movies that have really good aesthetics, and just look a certain particular way, whatever you want to say, you want a niche audience. And just in general, for that matter, if you want movies that are good quality and not the crap you see on the movie screens all the time, that actually focus on plot, actually have good representation instead of just unnecessarily representing people of different races for that matter, unnecessarily, and so on and so forth, you create a niche audience. Okay? That's the purpose of niche audience. You make things come out the way you want to make it. And that's why it's so important. So that's one of the most important things we need to do if we want to make movies great again. Find like-minded individuals. Because the truth of the matter is, if you try to focus on the masses, to put it bluntly, they're going to disappoint you. Because a lot of them, first and foremost, can't make up their mind on anything, and their expectations and stuff are not as high as maybe people in a select particular demographic, a smaller demographic of people, that might, let's just say, consist of more intelligent, knowledgeable people when it comes to like movies and stuff. So as a result of that, the truth of the matter is, for that matter, if you rely on them, it's just gonna be crap, to sum it up. So
Yeah.
rely on yourself. Do not rely on an overall audience, and it'll work a lot better. So that's the first thing I want to mention when it comes to how we can make movies great again. Now, the second thing when it comes to actually this particular issue is an actual idea of an action. What I think is the smartest idea to do, not even I think, the truth of the matter is the smartest idea to do, is to start writing ideas for movies, not necessarily like, of course, something you're directly planning to make a movie, but more like stories for that matter. Whether you create the art illustrations, or you just write the script, or something, whatever, you start sharing with people. Because when you start doing that type of stuff, not only will it, of course, be a good way for you to, of course, as a result, give you more of an incentive to spend more of your time developing your skill when it comes to making good quality stories and stuff. It also can help you understand what other people like. Because the truth of the matter is, when you start sharing things with other people, like let's just say, for example, there's a website where you share ideas, stories to get with other people, it helps develop your ability to start understanding like what other people like. Because you might create something that's perfect for you, but then you create it for other people, and they're like, this is the lamest thing I've ever seen in my life, okay? So the truth of the matter is, you have to start doing that, as that will give you not only an idea, of course, of what other people like, Um, to be honest with you, which of course you can then have a rating system and stuff, it can also, of course, as I said before, give you more of an incentive to develop your skill because people are actually reading it and looking at it, so it's not like you're just sharing it among yourself. Okay, so that's what's most important, and it might even help you create more stories that are more enjoyable, even for yourself as well. Because sometimes you put that stuff online and you get ideas that you would have never thought of before. That's truth be told, no matter how smart you are or how many ideas you think you have, if you share some with enough people, you'll always have an idea brought up that you would have never thought of before. Truth be told. So that's the truth of the matter. It's a very good way to build, to obviously get this stuff done. Besides in truth, that is not only something that would be a good way to kind of help, to kind of help develop your abilities to write stories and stuff, and develop your ability to write stories for that matter. It can eventually transition to something much bigger for that matter. Besides, that's what I think you should do in the end of the day, so not only what I said just now, truth be told, just make something I just want to mention, just make sure that when you do this, it will at least help resolve this particular issue we are having with movies nowadays. Because even if it doesn't go big, it at least makes it possible you can at least have a community of people who are like-minded, and we can at least say, okay, we don't have to watch this shit in the theaters anymore. Okay, so that's the truth of the matter. It's a really good idea, because obviously through writing stories and stuff and sharing with other people, you can obviously over time start developing more and more and more people, and through more and more people you can obviously get more money and so on and so forth, and through getting more and more money, so on and so forth, you can eventually, of course, start actually creating maybe animated actual representations of your movies, which truth be told, in all honesty, you could use things like Blender for it, and obviously completely satisfy and entertain your particular demographic, let alone this particular overall niche audience. Eventually, which leads me to the last point, it could eventually transition to the most important thing of all, actually getting in a movie theaters. So, of course, the truth of the matter is, like anything in the world, knowing how the world we live in, the world we live in is very shallow. So, so the truth of the matter is, since we live in a very shallow world, people will only hear. So, through that actual process, that actual process, in honesty, it can, of course, the actual process of actually finding like-minded people, you can actually have a voice, okay? And through actually having a voice, because it's that case of, okay, it might not be the biggest amount of people, but there's actually people who actually care about making things actually not suck again. The truth of the matter is, we can then have a lot of people follow this particular thing, and then next thing you know, the general population starts getting it and saying, hey, this is actually pretty decent and good, in all honesty. Maybe at least it looks that way, so maybe I might look at this stuff, and then they start watching and it becomes big, and then through that you go to movies, and once you go through movies, man, you make big money. So it's not just some thing associated with enthusiasts, which of course, let's be honest, whenever that happens, people are just going to consider you nerds and geeks anyway. It's now something that's mainstream that the whole of society is aware of. So in short, you're answering your own question. Okay, we want to make movies great again, so when I go to a movie theater and actually want to watch a movie, okay, without, of course, distractions of my personal home, as well as getting good quality popcorn and an actual great experience large screen cinema gives, I can actually be able to watch movies that actually don't suck and are actually good and enjoyable. And that's the truth of the matter. So in short, to be honest with you, niche audiences is what's needed in order to make movies great again. As if you don't do that, people are not going to watch it, people are not going to care, and as a result of people not watching it and people not caring, you know, it's simply going to go nowhere. As the truth of the matter is, the more you try to strive to please everyone, as the old saying goes, you end up pleasing no one. So focus on pleasing a particular audience first and then go big. And anyway, that is all to say. I hope you learned something when it comes to this for how we can make movies great again, and hopefully this can eventually be implemented. So anyway, that is all to say. If you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all I have to say, and simply put it, later.